Hello and welcome. The following contains spoilers for the movie On Happiness Road and the assertion that a Taiwanese film is considered anime. My heritage Taiwan does not make a lot of anime overall, but I do want to talk about this underdog Taiwanese film not only for how this movie came to be, but for how this movie holds a special place in my heart. And that film is called Xingfu Lu Sheng, or On Happiness Road. And this interview really captures the director Shin Yen Sung's thoughts on the conception for the movie. My first class, I felt the power of education for theater because my teacher told us that you don't need to make an imaginary story, you just need to think about who you are and where you came from. And then, at the time, I felt I did not have that story to tell at all because I grew up in a big industrial area in Xinjiang. But later on, I heard the story of Persepolis was popular with Western society. The graphic novels were later made into a movie. Suddenly, I feel as if such a story as Persepolis that has a society rapidly changing, which had a big influence on my upbringing. That's how I began writing for the script for Happiness Road. In the beginning, I started making this a drama live-action story. But then later on, I went back to Taiwan, and because of the story's absurdity, someone suggested to me, why don't we make it animated, so it has comedic and fantasy effects, so it will be stronger. I think I can go in that direction. Thus, the Happiness Road story plan started. The Happiness Road character is named Su Chi. She was born on April 5th, 1975, because I can connect with the same generation that I am familiar with this character to bring out the change in Taiwanese society. This is what we say, what is real happiness? How can I make a character that is who I am today? This started when I was in elementary school and built on it bit by going back to what we chase for in life and also experienced the stress from homework, parents' expectations, and society's protests. What kind of influences brought me to where I am today? I am the same as Su Chi Li. About 6 years old at the time, I moved near Happy Road, and at the time Happy Road was just a bunch of farmland and lotus ponds, muddy water, and a bunch of small houses, and all of it was built into a 4-story high-res building. Therefore, I go to the front of the road by myself, and this small stream is to actually fertilize the land, and at the stage of my life and along the stream, there are many family-owned factories. They release a lot of pollution, and we would still play in the stream and make paper planes and boats, and we were full of fantasy. And imagining that boat would take me somewhere else, that's my deepest memory. Sung originally made her work to be a 13-minute short in 2013, and the short went on to win the Golden Horse Film Project Promotion, which is to help promote Taiwanese filmmakers, in which the prize was 1 million NTD dollars, which equates to about $34,000 US, so it's still not a lot of funds to secure. But trying to secure the extra funding needed to make this a feature-length film was difficult, as Chinese investors did not want to invest in a Taiwanese film that had Taiwan protesting to become an independent country against China. Thankfully, director Wei Ten-sheng and actress Guilin Mei both decided to do voice acting for the film for free and keeping the cost of the film down. Wei Ten-sheng is Taiwan's most famous director, as he has made the highest grossing Taiwanese film ever at the time in Cape No. 7. On Happiness Road. How can that be Happiness Road? I'm thinking at that time I thought it was a little strange to call it that. Do you know from Taipei to Xinjiang, it's a little far to call it that. Riding the motorcycle to Xinjiang, I would get dusty. I never knew that Happiness Road was the one that she was talking about until later on. Then I realized that was the story that she was talking about. Truth is, I have been on this road before. The cousin is young, smart, and a wise man, but I am not actually this character. I was concerned about this character not being a fit for me. We did a lot of takes, worrying that my performance ruined the story, like how could a vivid character be represented not as bland? Asking other people is easy, but me personally, acting is very difficult and I feel very embarrassed and shy. Actually, director Wei's voice acting fits the role pretty well. The most interesting thing is that we created the character first. Then we started to ask director Wei to voice act, and as a result, we discovered they are very much alike. I think everyone is chasing happiness all their life. However, the journey of chasing is normally forgotten, and that our final destination is all for happiness. The director shared a lot of her growing up memories in that movie. I would tremendously recommend this movie because of the movies like this you only have once in your life. And Guilin Mei being an iconic Taiwanese actress. At the beginning, I didn't hesitate to agree to play this role, because in my mind, the connection with other people in my life is very important to me, as the story is very vibrant. The story not only sees characters and society change, but seeing the prosperity of one's inner self growing up, although it takes place in 1980, but it still feels current. Even in today's society, there's a happiness in front of you, and that is why I wanted to do this. In 2018, the film was finally released in theaters and gained critical attention, winning the 2018 Open Competition of the Tokyo Anime Awards for Best Feature-Length Film. From the movie compared to the short, you can see the upgrade in production quality, in brighter colors, more detailed and structured character models, and more detailed background art. The success continued on from there, where Shin would come extremely close to her dream of making an Oscar-nominated film, as it was shortlisted for Oscar nomination for Best Feature-Length Animated Film, as it was going up some of the biggest headways in animation on a global scale at the time, from the likes of Liz and the Bluebird, The Night a Short Walk On Girl, Mirai, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, The Incredibles 2, Have a Nice Day, and Ruben Brand Collector. Even though the film didn't win or get the final nomination, the fact that it won the initial competitions, found ways to save on money, and catch the eyes of global critics is a feat within itself, and having the director see their artistic vision through and beat the odds at almost every level is a story that I wanted to share. Not only for its fascinating production story, the film also has powerful symbolism and thematics as well. The summary of the film is about a girl named Chi who is in her midlife crisis, as she isn't satisfied with her job. Her relationship with her husband is at odds not only because of cultural traditions, as there is a language barrier with the parents, but also ideologically, as she is pregnant, which her husband doesn't know about, as he is on the side of not wanting kids. Ultimately, she decides to take a trip to Taiwan to see the passing of her grandmother and go back to her childhood roots and think about the events in her life that had led her up to this point and search for the meaning of happiness for herself. The first point for symbolism is Happiness Road is an actual physical road in Taiwan where the route takes you from Xingzhen to Taipei. The director's own journey of wanting to become a doctor at first, then deciding to become a filmmaker, and finding that happiness with herself and sharing her storytelling with the world not only makes the film potent but surreal. The title On Happiness Road acts as a symbol itself as it merges the premise of Chi's road or journey of finding her own happiness and expressing the fundamental theme and character arc under the title. Where Chi lived as a child was on Happiness Road and acts as the symbolic setting that comfort that Chi feels when she is at home with her parents and friends, as both provide emotional support and gives Chi her comfort and joy. And this symbol amalgamates into the symbolic action as Chi comes to the revelation at the end of the story that even though she didn't accomplish the goals of being rich and a person of influence that she once wished as a child, she is now enjoying living in the moment. Her happiness road is rekindling with her family members and divorcing with her husband and staying in Taiwan to raise her child. The symbol of On Happiness Road is presented on different levels, from the actual geographical location, the director's own journey of discovering herself, title card, setting, and action within the story, giving it this nice layered dense impact around the symbol of Happiness Road, gives the story this nice overarching depth of connection around the theme. Not only for its themes, this film is special to me for its personal connection, nostalgia, and its visually represented aspects of my childhood that I hold dear to me. Like when I would go back to Taiwan in the summers as a kid, I would love to receive these Taiwanese candies from my aunts and uncles. And seeing that represented with Chi getting American chocolate as a child and the exaggerated whimsical imagery of pleasure that she got from the chocolate instantly brought me back to my childhood and put a smile on my face. Seeing Chi's dad struggle to carry the suitcase upstairs to the building reminded me exactly how my uncle would perform the task, offer to carry the suitcase first as he wants to be a good host for me as a guest, as both Chi's dad and my uncle would move the suitcase up the apartment one step at a time due to being older, and both apartments from the movie and the apartment I would visit in real life were on high floors, giving me very human, relatable, and nostalgic character movement that I found very touching to me. Where Chi sees the kids get the answers to the test in the metaphor of a mother hen feeding her chickens and Chi's mom trying to bribe the teacher to get Chi into a better middle school gave me recontextualization of the stories that my mom once told me about her childhood of growing up in a village and where rich kids would get tutors from the school to quote-unquote help them with their homework, while my mom had to study on her own, and the classes my mom would face as a child stemming from my grandparents' lack of wealth, as they often would ask neighbors for money to make rent. That little desk in Chi's room that she used to study or work was exactly like the one in my aunt's apartment where I used to sit and draw and do my summer homework. Chi's internal struggle to find what she wants to do in her life as I'm studying in school right now, about to graduate, and thinking about my own happiness road and what it means to me. To where I am now, enjoying the moment, making videos while going to school and working part-time. It's one of the reasons why I got this channel started to begin with, and why I'm writing the script right now and sharing the media that I enjoy with the friends I do have in real life and online. Personally, I love this movie. It speaks to me on a very relatable level that not only captures aspects of my childhood that I cherish to this day, helped me get started in finding an outlet to share my interests and hobbies with, but also made me appreciate my travels with my family more. Even deepening the connection I have with my mom more, to understand what my mom was going through at the time when she was growing up, only adds a deeper level of respect and admiration I have for my mom as a person. To beat and overcome classism, poverty, the language barrier, and the ability to move to a new country and start a new life, and I have all these things to thank the film for. If you have gotten to the end of this video, thank you very much for listening. This is my first video opening up personally and explaining an anime that kinda hits close to home for me. I apologize for the lack of uploading as it may be infrequent at times as I'm heading back to school and will continue working part-time, but please leave a like, comment, and subscribe and go check out this film if you have the chance. Also, I edited this video myself, so any feedback would definitely be appreciated. Have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.